Hello everyone and welcome to another Transformers review with me, Ferris. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new War for Cybertron trilogy Kingdom Megatron Beast. I don't know why they've done it that way around. Maybe it's because that's the way the Japanese did it with the Masterpiece figure a few years ago. They just sort of carried on doing it that way. I don't know. Anyway, this has been delayed for a few weeks over here in the UK. I just got him in today, so I wanted to get this review done so I can get him out and have a play with him, because I love Beast Wars. Anyway, as usual, we'll have a quick look around the box, and I will say that this box is massive. It is a huge box. Just to show you how big it is, that's the Earthrise Soundwave. I mean, it's like 2 sound waves. It's a really big box. So I don't know if it's bigger than a normal leader class one, because I tend to chop them up and throw them away. So I'm not entirely sure, but it is quite big. Anyway, so my bugbear with these is, what is this about? I can only see that much of the figure. I love the artwork, don't get me wrong. I'm clipping this out and keeping it. It's gorgeous, but what the heck? How am I supposed to tell? I mean, to be fair, I did pre-order this, so, you know, I just got it sent to me. I didn't pick it up in a store. But if I were picking it up in a store, this is not going to really help me see if I'm getting the best figure, is it? And I don't know if Hasbro have done that on purpose, because they don't want people seeing if there are any defects lower down in the figure. I don't know, but this is daft, so they need to stop doing this. That's my bugbear with the packaging for the Kingdom line. But anyway, like I say, I do love the artwork, looks great. Although I'm not entirely sure about the T-Rex there. It's a bit of a chunky monkey. That's not what a T-Rex looks like. I mean, it's not even what a T-Rex looked like. T-Rex looked like in 1996, you know. So I don't know what they were going for there. But anyway, that's nice. I like the robot mode there, and obviously it's a leader class one. Although whether he is actually a leader class one, I don't know. We'll find out when we get him out of the box. Couple of product shots on the back. I mean, there's really not much going on there, is there? It's just, you know, robot mode and beast mode. So, okay. And we've got the, I was going to say Earthrise, but it's not. It's the Kingdom artwork on the side there, which I do like. I've been waiting for this box so I could clip this large panel out. So. Nothing much on the bottom, so it's the usual gun, and you've got a nice Predacon symbol on the top. So yes, alright, so I will crack him out of his box and we'll have a closer look. Right, so here's Megatron out of his box, and before we get started with the review, can I just say, Hasbro, please stop this. These are all the little plastic tags that I had to cut off to get him out of the box. There were 10 in all, and then they've got all these little plastic circlet things, little washer type things. We are supposed to be stopping putting all this sort of stuff in the rubbish and in the seas, and this is unacceptable at this point. Hasbro, please stop, because we don't need all this. 2, 3 at the most would have held that figure in that box. Does not need all of this. So with that little environmental rant out of the way, let's have a look at the figure. Well, let's have a look at what he comes with first, which, in all honesty, is nothing. What you see is what you get. So we get the instructions, which they all come with. And we get another one of these cards, and this time I got Optimus Prime. I don't know why they don't just put the card that corresponds to the figure you're buying in the box. Why are we getting random cards? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Anyway, there we go. Let's have a look at the figure. And you will notice that I've switched to my my Jurassic backdrop. It's the one I use for the Jurassic World figures. I thought it would be quite cool to have him here on this one. So yes, figures. Yeah, he looks quite good. I haven't really had a proper play with him yet, so let's get in and have a look at him closer. So, I mean, it looks like Megatron. It definitely looks like Beast Wars Megatron. Personally, I think I would have liked the more sort of grinning face to this one. This one looks a bit sort of, he looks like he's pouting a bit, so that's, I mean, it's alright. I would have preferred the other one, that's personal preference though. So, he's really nicely painted. It's got some lovely gunmetal grey and some silver here. Silver in these vent pieces. It's just, it does look really nice. It is just very well painted. We'll get into the dino mode paint when we get to the dino mode. But for now, let's just concentrate on the on the robot mode. Yes, the problem has resurfaced with the loose joints. I thought we'd got away from it. I thought with the Kingdom figures we'd finally put that to bed, but no, at least not on my one. But then he is quite back heavy because he does have quite the backpack. So yeah, it could just be that. There might be a way of sorting that out, but yeah. I think it's some nice dark purple over the lighter purple, and more of this gunmetal here. It's look really nice. And then of course it's a Beast Wars figure, so the beast feet are the robot mode feet. So that's that, and you get a hand going down this side with a tail on it. I'm not sure if this is removable. It should be, but I don't know if you can on this figure. I'll have to check into that. And then this side is basically just the T-Rex mode head. Going down the back. Not really much in the way of paint on the back, and like I say, he's got basically the entire dino mode on his back there, so that could be why the hip joints are struggling a little bit on mine. So articulation wise, his head, I don't think it's on a ball joint because it doesn't look up, it doesn't look down, and you can't do anything side to side. The only way you can get him to look up is if you actually unclip this piece, and then he can look like all the way up. But yeah, normally if you leave that where it's supposed to be, he can't look up and he can't look down. Like I say, just rotates. He does have rotation at the shoulders, but you can't go all the way around. Well, I mean you can, but it's a bit of a struggle because of this bit here at the back there, the backpack getting in the way. You can go out to the side, but you have to sort of manoeuvre stuff, especially on this side, to get that out. He does have a bicep swivel. He's got just over 90 degrees of bend on this side, and then on the other side, because it's a little bit different, he keeps wanting to fall over. Those hip joints aren't great. So you've got the same articulation here and the same here, but it doesn't go out so far because it's just basically this bit here keeps knocking on this bit, so you can only get it out to there. Then it does rotate, and then you can sort of bring it in like that, and then the actual dino jaw does open all the way up. There is this in here, and it's basically just a moulded thing. There's no weaponry. You can't put a missile in there or anything. It's just like that. That's a bit disappointing. And then the dino mode head will move up and down on that joint there. There doesn't seem to be any rotation at the wrist on this side. You can move it up and down like so, but you can't rotate it any other way. It does have waist rotation. You can kick out to the front and to the rear. You can go out to the side a wee bit if you leave that piece in place. If you want to go further, then you can just pull this out, rotate it round, and then you can go all the way out, like so. Put that back for now. There doesn't seem to be any rotation at the hip or the thigh. There is rotation at the knee, and you get just over 90 degrees at the knee, and then you get forward and back on the dino foot there. He just keeps folding up under his own weight, and you do have a certain amount of ankle tiltage, not really to the outside but to the inside. So he's all right. He's not the most articulated figure. The lack of a thigh swivel is a bit of a disappointment. I mean, I can just see if the original had a thigh swivel. No, it didn't, so I guess they're just sort of going with that. So, speaking of the original, let's bring that one in for a comparison. So, there we've got that. I mean, yes, obviously, the new one looks a lot more cartoon accurate, but there's really not that much in it, to be honest. You've got a similar amount of articulation, and ironically, the original deals with the backpack a little bit better. So that's yeah, that's a bit weird. Other things I noticed, the dino mode feet on the new one don't have this peg, this heel piece I should say. It doesn't have that, which I think is a bit of a shame, because that would have definitely helped with the backpack problem, you know, with it being weighty and wanting to fall over. It does have the small dino heels, you know, as a little claw sticking out the back there, so it does help a bit, but I mean, I don't know, until I've got him on a shelf somewhere, I don't know how well that's going to work. So it seems to be okay there. So that's the two of them together, so you can see. Yes, for those looking at that going, there's something not quite right there. Yeah, I took the there's like a weird beast face thing that clips over his regular robot mode face, and I didn't like it just hanging off the side, so I took it off. I think it looks better like that, so that's why that's not there. For another comparison, this is the masterpiece from a couple of years ago, and it's so big I'm just gonna have to pull right out. So yeah, just thought I'd bring it down so you could have a look, see what they look like together. And it doesn't really fit very well on the old display backing there. You won't see that one in dino mode. I don't like to transform it if I can help it. Alright, so that's that. Right, transformation then. Just before we get to the transformation, I forgot to do this when I was recording the first part of the review. Let's have a look at him with some of the other Kingdom Beast Wars figures that have come out. The most important one, I think, is this. So this is Kingdom Beast Wars Optimus Primal. I think that's a pretty good scale. That works well. Let's just put him there. Yep, that works. That's about right. So let's just leave Primal over there for a minute. Here is Cheetor with his teeny wee little feet. That still bothers me, that now. Yep, that's okay. Rat Trap. And my Rat Trap is already starting to get a little bit loose. Let's move Cheetor to there. Let's pop Rat Trap there. Not bad. But I think the most important one after Optimus Primal, of course, is Black Arachnia. Her legs have gone a bit askew here, but let's move her to there. Now, that's wrong. That's I don't know if I mentioned it in my Black Arachnia review, I can't remember, but in the show Black Arachnia is more or less the same size as Rat Trap, so this is wrong. Although I'm glad to have a larger scale Black Arachnia, it doesn't scale. She doesn't scale with Megatron, she's far too big. This is the sort of size that say Pterosaur or Scorponok would be. She's just too big, sadly, and that doesn't work for me. Yes, I'm also at a loss as to where to put Black Arachnia. Sometimes I put her with my Predacons, and sometimes I put her with the Maximals, because, I mean, you've all seen it by now, haven't you? So, well, for those who haven't, you know, get to that bit and you'll understand. But, yeah, it's, scale's not quite right there, but anyway, there we go. That's just a little look at those there. So, I've not been looking forward to this. It's been a couple of days, to be honest, between the first part of the video and this part, and I've been mucking around with this figure, and I have to admit I've not been looking forward to doing this transformation on camera. So. Gird your loins, people! Right, so straight off the bat, you'll notice that these flaps aren't where they were when I filmed the first part of the video, and that's because I can't fold this back the way that it was originally. It is supposed to fold, but they've used... I don't care for this at all. I was chatting with Zort Rider. You may know him. If you don't, go and check out his channel. He does a brilliant weekly show I absolutely love. But yeah, we were chatting about this yesterday. They've put this sort of PVC thing over the top of the regular plastic. So you've got the normal plastic here, and then there's this... I don't know what to call it. I called it cladding yesterday, but it's not what it is. It's just like... I don't know why they've done it. I don't like it. But it doesn't... I don't know if you can see here, but it doesn't really line up properly. So, sort of really pushing that back under there. I can't get that to fold back properly. Oh, there we go. See, they say it and then instantly that's going to work. So, alright, okay. I couldn't get it back there earlier, but you get the idea anyway. It's supposed to be that way around. I just couldn't get it to get in there earlier. Maybe it's just got a bit warmer since I've been playing around with it. Alright, so with that aside then, so it's supposed to start like that. So what you want to do then is you want to bring that back round, like so. And then I'll just move that one out as well. And then what you want to do here is, see there is a slot here and there's a long peg here. You need to flip this so that those two, so that slot, that peg goes in that slot. So it's just like that. And then there's a couple of tabs now that you have to put in there. And this one here just goes in here. I did have a bit of an issue with this the first time, but I think it's because of the way that was. So let's get that in. Yeah, okay, it just doesn't... Yeah, I had this trouble before. I just can't seem to get it to go into the... there we go. Oh, no, it's popped back out again. It goes in and then it just pops back out again. Yeah, okay. And you do the same the other side. It's actually done it for me, that side, so that side's okay. It was a bit awkward when I first got it. I couldn't quite get it in there. It took me ages, but anyway. Right, then what you want to do is you want to come down here. You want to pull these side pieces out, like so, and it will just rotate around. And then you just push it back in. So do that on both sides, like so. Then the instructions tell you to do it one way, and I've decided to do it a different way, so bear with me. What you're supposed to do now is you come around the back. Let me move the camera a bit so you can see. And you just take his little dino and you flip this piece up. And be careful, I've popped this off numerous times. Every time I transform, this thing comes flying off. So you move the little dino arms out, like so. And then you want to unclip this backpack. So it's just... there we go, it's clipped onto itself basically. There's a clip here that clips onto this here when you've got it in robot mode. So you're just unclipping that piece there. So then that will just flop about down there for a bit, and then you're supposed to bring this bit backwards. But you need to unclip the front here, and first time round this terrified me because it's so stiff. But what you want to do, see here at the waist joint here, there's a clip on the underside of this. I'll show you in a minute. So what you need to do is you need to get hold of him, and you need to rip him in half. And the first time I did that, it was really, really tight, and I thought I was going to break something. Basically what it is this very large clip here, and it clips this side and this side. And you can see where I've transformed it a few times now. It's just starting to wear a little bit on the edges. And that clips in under there. And it's just awkward. At first, it's really awkward. So just bear that in mind, that is very tight the first time you try and transform this figure. I've done it a few times now, and it's starting to loosen up a bit now, so that's good. So with that moved, this backpack will now come down. And at this point, you can just flip Megatron's head round. And again, this is a little bit tight the first time you do it, the first couple of times you do it. Right, now... I am going to do it this way. So you flip these pieces out like so. They're just on a hinge there, like that. Don't bother trying to pull these out because these are on a spring, so they'll just sort of pop back. So just leave them like that for a minute. So now you've got this whole sort of wibbly wobbly bit going on. What you want to do next is you need to pull the legs apart at this crotch point. And again, this is very tight, so shouldn't really pull on the legs, but there's no other way to do it. So you can see there, that's just going to pop apart like that. So you just pull these out, and then what you're going to do with these is you want them, they're in this position. You see those white pieces, they're in there like that at the minute. What you want to do is you want to pull these out, and then they want to be in this position. You see? So you do that on both sides. And again, the first few times this was really stiff. In fact, this one's still a wee bit stiff this side. There we go. So there we have this kind of situation going on. So you see the legs are just like that. Right, now what you want to do is you want to rotate and swivel this top part. So you want to rotate it this way. And then you're going to... apologies, and then you're going to move it upwards again like so, and all these pieces are going to get in the way, so you want it like that. And what you're going to do here now is that that same piece, that same large piece, it's got a smaller clip on it here, or smaller peg I should say, and that is going to clip into that peg just there, that little white one. So let's see if I can get this done on the camera, because again this is very tight. I have found this to be quite awkward. Let's rotate the tail out of the way. Go on, here you go. Oh, that's really tight, that bit. I don't like that bit. It's really tight. And everything's sort of gone out of kilter a bit now, so... Right, so we're at this kind of angle now then, so we've got all sort of legs akimbo. So what you want to do now is you just want to move the legs down, and you're going to, actually you want the legs the other way. So you're going to rotate the tail this way, and you flip the whole thing over and rotate the legs around this way. Bring the head around like so, and then you sort of push it in like that. And now you can move this little flap out of the way and bring this whole piece down. And then you do the same on the other side, bring the whole piece down, and there are again a couple of tabs, just there, and there, and they're going to go in over here. It's like a double tab on this part as well. So let's get these in. Just push those together. I have found with mine it has a tendency to just pop back out, so and then make sure all this is straight here, and you bring this whole section down, and what's going to happen here is you have two slots. You've got one here and one here, and they will join up with these tabs here and here. But before you do that, you need to rotate these thigh pieces so they're like that, and then you bring this whole thing over, bring everything into alignment, and then bring those down so they tab in, and that side. And then you just bring this piece down, and that covers over most of the leg like so, and it's the same this side. Hold on, that tab's popped out. In you go, there we go. So just bring that down, and then it's popped out again. It does have a tendency that way. I don't know why that side keeps popping out on mine. It just keeps doing it. Okay, and then you just put this flap at the back of the head. You just bring that over like so, and then you can straighten out the little dino arms. And yeah, yes, I apologise, I did forget. There's a couple of tabs here that's sort of supposed to tab in once you've got all that section complete. So just wiggle that in, like so. And that's popped out again, and that's popped out again, and I don't like this figure. Right, stay in this time, please. Alright, that'll do. That's about as good as it's getting. So that's it. That's the transformation. I don't like this figure. I love the robot mode. I think the robot mode is fantastic. But this is just a mess. I mean, what were they thinking? Look at this. What? And this. And worst of all, he's got a massive great hole in his back. And I wouldn't mind, but there's nothing to put in it. You know, it doesn't come with any sort of weapons, you know, or a blast effect. And then this keeps happening. This keeps falling apart. 50 quid, ladies and gentlemen. This cost me nearly 50 quid, and it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Don't get me wrong, it's not Elite 1 levels of utter garbage, but it's not far off. I'll tell you, if I could just send it back for a refund under the heading of this figure is garbage, I would be doing, but sadly, do you know what, I give in. I give in with it. It's just terrible. It's just horrible. Yeah, I don't like it. I like the robot mode. I think the robot mode is pretty decent, but the beast mode is just a mess. It's just a tabby, panelly, floppy mess. But at least in his beast mode, the legs are stable, unlike in his robot mode, where he's so back heavy, he keeps flopping over to the back. Okay, alright. Gripes aside, let's have a closer look. I'm not massively keen on the sculpt of the Rex head either. It doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't look like the show or the toy. It's something sort of in between. You can open and close the jaw. And again, yeah, I mean, we've seen this in the robot mode, but you know, there's the little port up here which looks like you could be able to put a blast effect in there, but they didn't include one because it's not like they spent a lot of money getting this alt mode right, is it? You do get some articulation on the head. It does move up and down, and there is that joint there as well, but that just looks weird. The little arms do move. They're on a ball joint, so you do get some movement there. The paint is okay. It's not great. It's all right on the bits where they don't have to do any blending, but where there should be some blending, they basically just stopped. It's like it's staggered here. Like you see him, he's green here, but he's purple here because they couldn't be bothered to paint this bit. Articulation in the legs, you can get some movement back and forth on the legs. There is that same knee joint because obviously it's the robot mode knee, and the same with the foot, so yes, that's all the same. There is articulation in the tail, but then it breaks up the whole thing. But I mean, honestly, it's all broken up anyway, so it's, you know, it's not great. And you can move the tip of the tail like that, but no, it's not good. And then if you go to the underside, you've got this weird sort of spiky bit here for no reason. I don't know, guys. This is I was really looking forward to this figure as well. You know, I really liked Primal. I thought Primal was good. Cheetor. Nah, not. I mean, Cheetor's good enough, but I don't like his feet. He does have his issues. And then Black Arachnia was stunning, absolutely beautiful. I love that girl. But this, no. And if this pops out one more time during this review, I'm gonna flipping hit the roof. I swear. Do you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it because otherwise I'm gonna get frustrated with it. Alright, okay, let's flipping it, stand up. No, it don't want to stand up. It's because I've been rude about it. It doesn't like me because I've been rude about him. Alright, go this way. Simon might have to fast forward some of this. Right, stand there then. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at some of the other figures in their beast modes. Right, let's start with the original Megatron. So, oh, I'm not going to fit him in. Let's push everything back a little bit. If you hear something drop, it's something dropping off the other side. Quite got that right. It doesn't want to stand up now either. Alright, so that's the original Megatron. There's the new Kingdom. Let's just get those faces there. I don't understand how Mattel have had a quarter of a decade to improve upon that, and that's the best they could do. Even the original one held together better. This thing's 25 years old nearly. No, actually it's 25 years old, isn't it? It's 25th anniversary this year, so yeah, that's and I bought this one second hand. This isn't one of my original figures, so this one's probably been played with, which is probably why I didn't want to stand up. There we go, that's better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the sculpt on the original one is better, because, you know, it's not, but I don't know, I just think it's a shame that that's the best they could come up with. This gappy, floppy, tabtastic mess. I don't know. So that's that. That's the original one. Here is Primal. So that kind of works. Cheetor. Let's sort the camera away a bit. Miss Arachnia. My voice went very high there. Miss Arachnia. And Rat Trap. So, yeah, that's okay, I guess. I mean, they've all got issues. Even Black Arachnia, but I still think she's the best one. But, you know, it's a personal opinion, I guess. Right, let's take these out of the way. I think they look quite good together, though. So, yeah, I hate to be a bit of a Debbie Downer on this one, but this beast mode is just awful. It's just bad. It's just, you know, it's just bad. I mean, you can even, you know, they've even left, like, you know, so you can see the pins through here. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand how they can charge 50 quid, well, nearly 50 quid. I think it was like 48 or something for a leader class figure, and this is the best they could do with the alt mode. Just panels and flaps and bits that don't cover other bits. I know if you move it in a certain way, it falls over because flaming joints aren't strong enough. Good. I've got Jurassic Park toys. Jurassic Park, not World. Jurassic Park toys that stand up better than this. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know. I do like the robot mode, but honestly, if I'd have known that this was going to be this bad, I would have never pre-ordered it. Maybe if I'd have paid 30, 35 quid for it, I'd be a little less judgmental. But at nearly 50 quid, I think this is BS. If I'm perfectly honest, this is what Hasbro thinks of its customers, especially customers overseas, you know, like the UK and Europe, where we paid more than the Americans. This is what they think of us. They think, oh yeah, we'll just chuck out this because it's all right, you know. They'll lap it up, and yeah, because these are the Beast Wars figures, the only Beast Wars figures aside from Masterpiece that we've had in 25 years. Of course, Beast Wars fans are going to lap it up. You know, this is what we've been wanting. But dear Primus, the state of it. I'm really angry, guys. I'm sorry, I really am. I just think this is just a massive middle finger to people. Beast Wars fans, you know, none of them have been that great. Cheetor's feet are awful. Optimus Primal's got this hole in his neck when he's in beast mode. Rat Trap is practically falling apart. Black Arachnia's alright. I like Black Arachnia. I've got Wave 2 on pre-order, and honestly, if I'd have got this before I'd pre-ordered Wave 2, I wouldn't have bothered. Because so far, this first wave of 5 figures has been the 5 faces of doom. They're just, I'm so sad. I'm so disappointed. I really am. I think I am feeling it worse because I've just got a third-party Beast Wars figure in that cost me like 10 quid more than this. And it's a Masterpiece scaled figure. I'm not going to let on which one it is. You probably already know anyway. But that thing is insanely good. And it costs 10 quid more than this. Yeah, okay. So that's me. Sorry this one hasn't been massively positive. Like I say, I think the robot mode is pretty good. But this beast mode just sucks. It's just awful. So that's it. I don't know when my next Transformers review will be. I will be doing that one I've just mentioned. I've got a couple of Godzilla figures that I will be reviewing. I think the Studio Series 86 stuff, mine have been delayed. So I think Simon, Paddy and Optimus Prime are covering those. So stay tuned for those, because they look insanely good. So Hasbro gives with one hand and takes away with the other. But yeah, so that's it for this one. I'm not going to bang on any more about this. I think you get how I feel about this now. So yeah, so that's it. I'll see you in the next one for a much more positive review. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Fingers on plastic.